The story of Elisa Lam is one that continues to haunt the internet, a mystery that straddles the line between tragedy and the unexplainable. It's a story about a young woman, a notorious hotel, and a video that left the world questioning what really happened behind those faded walls. Elisa Lam was a 21-year-old student from Vancouver, Canada. In early 2013, she decided to take a solo trip through California, documenting her experiences online through Tumblr posts. Her writing was honest and personal. She shared her struggles with depression and bipolar disorder, but also her excitement for new adventures. Like many young travelers, she was searching for independence and a sense of self. On January 26, 2013, Elisa checked into the Cecil Hotel in downtown Los Angeles, a place infamous for its dark history. Since opening in 1927, the Cecil had been home to suicides, murders, and even serial killers. It sat on the edge of Skid Row, an area filled with poverty, drugs, and crime. Once built as a glamorous destination for businessmen, it had long since decayed into a cheap, transient hotel where danger lingered in every hallway. Elisa was assigned to a shared room on the 5th floor. But after a few days, her roommates complained about her odd behavior, and she was moved to a private room. Nobody could have known then that these would be some of her last known interactions. On January 31st, Elisa Lam vanished. She was supposed to check out that day and continue her trip to Santa Cruz, but she never left the hotel. Her family back in Canada grew worried when they couldn't reach her, and soon, police were called in to investigate. Flyers with her picture were plastered across Los Angeles, and officers began searching the hotel. But the Cecil was massive, nearly 700 rooms and multiple rooftop access points. Searching it was like exploring a maze. The police brought in dogs, combed through her belongings, and even searched nearby areas, but they found nothing. It was as if Elisa Lam had disappeared into thin air. Days turned into weeks. Then, on February 13th, the LAPD released a piece of evidence that would ignite one of the most chilling internet mysteries of all time, the elevator footage. The surveillance video, recorded on February 1st, showed Elisa in one of the Cecil's elevators. It begins with her stepping inside and pressing multiple buttons. The elevator doors stay open unusually long. Elisa peeks out into the hallway as if she's checking for someone. Then she jumps back into the elevator, hiding in the corner. She steps out again, waves her arms, moves her hands in strange motions, almost as if she's talking to someone invisible or performing a ritual. She moves erratically, stepping in and out of the frame before finally walking away. The elevator doors close. And that's it. That's the last known footage of Elisa Lam alive. The internet exploded with theories. Some believed she was being followed. Others thought she was under the influence of drugs. Some suggested supernatural explanations. Possession, ghosts, even government conspiracies. Others pointed to the elevator itself. Why did the door stay open so long? Was someone outside pressing the door open button? Was there someone just out of frame? Theories spread like wildfire. Online detectives dissected every frame, analyzing her gestures, her clothes, even the timestamp on the footage. Some noticed that the video seemed edited, slowed down, parts removed. People speculated about foul play, about someone hiding what really happened. But the truth, when it finally came, was just as disturbing, if not more. On February 19, 2013, a maintenance worker was called to the hotel's rooftop water tanks after guests complained about low water pressure and strange tasting, discolored water. When he climbed up to check, he made a horrifying discovery. Elisa Lam's body was floating inside one of the tanks. She had been missing for nearly 3 weeks. The question everyone asked was simple: how did she get there? The tanks were heavy, sealed, and difficult to access. To reach them, one would have to climb onto the roof, disable the alarm, climb up a ladder, and somehow lift a heavy lid. Doing that alone, at night, without being noticed, seemed almost impossible. An autopsy was performed. The coroner's report stated that Elisa Lam's death was accidental, caused by drowning. There were no signs of physical trauma, assault, or drugs in her system, aside from her prescribed medications for bipolar disorder. Police concluded that Elisa had a manic episode, entered the water tank on her own, and was unable to get out. But to many, that explanation didn't sit right. Why was the rooftop alarm not triggered? How did she manage to open and close such a heavy lid? Why was the elevator video so strange, so hauntingly unnatural? The answers felt incomplete, and the public wasn't satisfied. Soon, people began uncovering bizarre coincidences. A tuberculosis outbreak had reportedly occurred near the Cecil Hotel around that same time, and the test used to detect it was named the LAM ELISA. The eerie connection added fuel to conspiracy theories about biological experiments or secret government operations. Others drew parallels between Elisa's death and the 2005 horror film Dark Water, where a young girl is found dead in a rooftop water tank of a haunted apartment building. The similarities were chillingly uncanny. In the years since, documentaries, podcasts, and internet sleuths have tried to untangle what really happened to Elisa Lam. The Netflix documentary Crime Scene: The Vanishing at the Cecil Hotel reignited interest in the case, offering interviews with former hotel staff and police investigators. It painted a picture of mental illness, urban isolation, and the dark history of a building that seemed cursed. The Cecil Hotel itself became a symbol, a crossroads of desperation and darkness. Over the decades, it had been home to infamous serial killers like Richard Ramirez, known as the Night Stalker, and Jack Unterweger, who killed multiple women during his stay. Countless suicides had occurred there. Some said the hotel was cursed, others that it attracted the lost, the broken, and the damned. Elisa Lam's death was the latest chapter in its grim legacy. But beyond the mystery and the conspiracies, Elisa's story is a human one, a reminder of the fragile line between reality and the mind's perception of it. She was a young woman battling her own thoughts in a strange city far from home, staying in a place with an almost supernatural darkness surrounding it. The unanswered questions remain. Was her death purely accidental? Was there something more sinister that was never uncovered? Or was it the tragic intersection of mental illness and circumstance in one of the most unsettling places on Earth? We may never truly know. Today, the Cecil Hotel stands partially closed, its reputation forever haunted by the story of Elisa Lam. Her memory lingers, not just in the elevator footage or internet theories, but as a symbol of how quickly mystery can spiral into obsession. And maybe that's the final lesson of the Elisa Lam case, that sometimes, our search for answers reveals more about ourselves than it ever could about the unknown.